to music. You can't beat that Detroit sound. I'm proud to be from Detroit, town with a style all its own. You're looking for a good time.
Hey everybody, how y'all doing? It is Thursday night at 7 p.m. and it's time for the Hot Flash Happy Hour right here on WJZZ Cool TV, the coolest station in the world. And we are streaming live, y'all. You can watch us all over on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, and other top social media platforms. So I want you to like, follow, share, comment, and subscribe to everything you see out there, no matter how your viewing pleasure is described to you. So I want to thank you for watching WJZZ Cool TV as well. And this is Hot Flash Happy Hour. I am your host, Tasha Owens. And I have my beautiful co-host, Jimmy Alter. And we have a wonderful guest in our show tonight, Mr. Motor City Josh Ford. We're going to get to talk to him, and we're going to let you know why he's so special, if you don't know already. So all of our friends out there watching, we encourage you to stay watching and share and let everybody else knows what's going on. At the top of the show, we always like to say what's going on between Jimmy and I, or what's been happening lately. Right?
Sure, yeah.
All right, so you're all settled in with the house?
Yeah, everything's going well.
Everything's
just did
going well.
The basement floor and,
all right.
Ready to press on and actually have a space to practice music again.
Right.
After
drum kit down there.
Yeah, after
right.
like a year of not having anywhere to, like, even at my parents' house, we were crammed in. There's nowhere, I could sit in a corner in a chair, you know what I mean, with my phone, and if I had to.
So I gotta drive all the way out there to go to
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
That's some bullshit.
But it'll be beautiful.
Y'all better have a bedroom for me when I come out, child.
And at least it's one of those, like, it's
any
conducive.
rehearsal after 8, I'm not leaving.
What mile road you at? You're not
27.
Yeah, you're not.
I'm 27.
They still have numbers on it too. It's 27 miles.
Yeah.
Close to the studio anyway.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So
Yeah,
whatever,
it's not bad.
Josh.
Yeah. I mean, it feels a little isolated out there. Like I can't just pop into somebody's gig anymore and like, oh, hey, I'm just gonna go run and stop in for a half hour to go support this person.
Right.
Because it's like a 40-minute drive to go do that, right?
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
It's not like being at 10
Yeah.
mile, right?
Correct, exactly. It's not as easy as it used to be. So I gotta, the nights are a little bit more selective, but
Right.
all is well. All is well. How about you, Tasha?
Oh, well, not a whole. I've been kind of laying low. I had a couple of private gigs in that, which is really cool. And then, I just spent a day with Josh at the studio doing some work with Ray Williams, doing, the recording thing. So when I'm not working, you guys, I'm still working. So when you don't see me out there, I'm still working. And this is one man that keeps me doing that. So thank you.
Thank
very
you.
much.
All right. Usually, Josh, we start at the beginning, right? We try to have this idea of the show of like trying to document, say, like your story in an hour time the best we can of like, and usually we start at the beginning. What got you going into music? I know your father played.
Yep.
Was that it? Like, was that?
My parents were ministers. I played in church.
Okay.
My dad played guitar and sang, and my mom played the piano. And, we led the gospel songs in the church, and I played the drums first.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
How?
8.
8.
I started playing drums when I was 8.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
When I was 12, I wanted to write songs, so I switched to guitar. I used to sneak my dad's guitar out from under the bed.
Right.
And finally he figured out I was sneaking his guitar from under the bed. I wasn't supposed to play with it.
Oh, really? Yeah.
He's like, he was particular about this guitar,
He said, "You ain't right, boo."
What was he actively like playing gigs, or
No,
did he just play
just
the
in
church and stuff too? Okay.
Yeah, just in church.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then when I was about 12, my parents got divorced, and I ended up, staying with my dad and starting to learn guitar, and it was like basically every day I'd wake up and play my guitar, and I had a guitar class at school.
Okay.
So I could carry my guitar around. I had a reason to have my guitar with me. Well, I didn't put it in a case.
So what school did you go to where you could have a guitar class?
Like this.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I was born here in Warren. My parents were ministers, so we moved around a lot.
Right.
But the first year I started playing guitar, I was in Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
Oh wow.
Yep. And so I just walked around with my guitar.
That's awesome.
You
could literally
Yeah.
just sit
girls
there.
and I, and a couple of licks,
I mean, I went to small schools, small Catholic schools and that, so we didn't have those kind of music things. And I know that other schools had, music departments and
classes,
band and all different kinds of band, but a guitar class, that's kind of
A guitar class, and then, but after about 6 weeks, you know, I mean, I started right when the class started.
Yeah.
And after about 6 weeks, the teacher's like, "You should be teaching the class, not me."
That's awesome.
Because you're way beyond.
I was gonna say usually it's a music teacher that has a general idea.
That's
Probably
exactly
usually
what
plays
it was.
piano and
Right.
He's a choir instructor.
Yeah.
He did play piano.
Yeah.
He played a
I
little
got to
bit of
tell him
guitar.
shit. I got to give him some stuff to do.
But you know, that's what started it.
Right.
And then I actually played drums, and my dad played bass in this blues band when I was about 13, down playing bar dates
Oh, cool.
down in South Florida for a couple years, and that's kind of how I got exposed to the blues. And my dad took me to this place called the Musicians Exchange in Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
Nice.
And it was awesome. It was a great spot. It was like a music store. It was a record store. It was they gave lessons there.
Rehearsal
it was like
space
a
as
complete,
well?
Yeah, it was a complete
my.
musician outlet.
Yes.
And then on top of that was a restaurant club. And I saw Buddy Guy and Junior Wells when I was 12. My dad took me. We sat right in the front row, you know. And Buddy did what Buddy does. And I said, "Well, Dad, that's what I'm doing. I ain't doing nothing else. I'm doing that.
Right,
you know?
right.
I'm doing that. I don't care."
Yeah.
And from that point on, I never really.
Isn't that wild? You got imprinted like that, and
Yeah,
that was.
I went to that show and I watched Buddy Guy and Junior Wells. I'm like, that's it.
After that, is that? I mean, did you start like singing, playing right away after that? I mean, what was the transition then going into like you say you having your own band and playing gigs on your own?
And let's give us some age numbers too, so we can follow the
timeline. I started
timeline.
singing and playing right away, but I didn't have. I was playing drums in that band. I didn't have the opportunity to do that role.
Yeah.
And you were how old?
Until I was in high school, you know. And then in high school, back up here in Royal Oak, I moved back up this way. Did my senior year in Royal Oak, and I had a band, and we were doing like classic rock and stuff. This other guy, it was his band. The other guy, and I just kind of.
That was his shit, though.
I was doing whatever, whatever he wanted me to do, I did.
I love my classic rock bands.
Sure,
That was
absolutely.
the shit, man.
but I was a blues guy even then. I knew that's what I liked, and then when I was about 18, I walked into the New Way Bar, and
Ferndale.
Yeah, Bobby East was there with Greasy Carlisi.
Nice.
And Jeff Folks. And this guy named Al, Big Daddy Al Romance. This is about
I don't know him.
This is about like 1989, 90, somewhere right in there. And I got up and I signed the list. Of course, Bobby didn't know me, so even though I was first, he made me wait till the end of the night.
Absolutely.
Then I got my guitar out. And
That's how you run a jam.
He looks at my tally and he goes, I'm just a punk kid. He looks at my guitar and he goes, "Oh, well, if you can't play that, me and the boys are going to take it away from you." and I looked at him, I said, "You ain't taking shit. Where do I plug in?"
Right.
I was 18, cocky,
Right.
whatever. So I plugged in, I played, and he come up and he goes, "Well, we decided you can keep your guitar." Nice job. And then...
we decided you can keep your guitar.
Exactly.
That's fucking awesome.
Isn't that fucking Bobby East?
Wait till I see him Monday.
Yeah.
I am going to give him so much shit.
So then the next week I came back. And I get there early, and there's this guy, Al Hall. I don't know if you guys know who Al Hall is. He moved. He used to be an Attic regular, but he moved down to, like, Knoxville. He comes in, he goes, "Fuck this place. Fuck this band. Do you want to go to a real blues bar?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Follow me, kid. I'm taking you to the real blues bar."
Yeah.
So without even asking him anything, we were at the New Way. Without asking him anything, I got in my car and I followed him.
Yeah.
I just followed this guy blindly. I'm like,
Sure.
I just met him. I didn't even know the guy.
Just know how to get home.
So he took me to the Attic bar.
Nice.
We walked in the Attic, and the Butler Twins were on stage.
Shit, yes.
And I was like, I was at home. I was like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
Right.
And Al's like, like in between songs, he's like yelling at it because he knew him. He's like, "Get this kid up to play."
Oh.
And play. And I'm just like, I don't even know these guys.
Right.
And so they got me. He got me up to play, Clarence and Curtis. And I got up and played with those guys, and it was fun. And then basically, I went to the Attic every day after that.
Right.
Because there was always something. Little Matt Collins, or Mr. Bo, or Uncle Jesse, or
oh my God.
Johnny Yard Dog Jones, or the Butler Twins.
These people I never
or Little
met, and
Mac.
they're gone.
It was just all these great people
Yes.
that you know.
And I was actually doing rock and roll then. If I had started blues early, I would have met everybody.
I don't think you were on the blues scene yet either.
Well, I was gonna say because the same story. I mean, I have the same story, but it's with Josh's other guitar player, Mr. Johnny Rhodes. It was meeting him at the Goose, him taking me to Nancy Whiskey's. Because same thing, I just played in these bar bands way out in the burbs.
I was in East Side all the time.
I didn't know there was such a thing. And then I met him at the Goose, and he took me down to Nancy Whiskey's. Like kind of this, similar story. And that's how I met all of you guys.
And Nancy Whiskey's is cool.
But it wasn't like the Attic. I get it. Yeah.
The Attic Bar, they had all the pictures. Well, you see them. It's at Mike and Bob's place.
At
TITP. And it was just, I mean,
if you know,
they had live blues there for a long time. And, I hate it that you and the Brendan Linsleys of the world weren't around yet to see this.
And even me,
I mean, this was like, the first generation older black guys that moved here from the South to work in the auto industry. I mean, playing the real blues.
Right.
They were playing that blues in Mississippi or Alabama or somewhere, and then they came up here and played it.
Cadillac Assembly Line was their story.
That was their story. First generation.
Like John Lee Hooker. I shot part of my video in front of the Apex Bar because that's where he got his name. So I mean, it's
those guys are gone.
They're gone. Yeah.
Well, and it's tough though now too because there isn't really necessarily a place anymore that is the one spot.
No.
Other than I should say, we just mentioned TITP,
right?
But like not everybody knows about that. As not everybody probably should.
Under the cover spot.
Correct.
Well,
yes.
Well,
I mean, but they're
the last two that went down, and one is only temporary, is a Blue Goose. The other one would be Callahan's because that was specifically for blues.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it was a venue that was dedicated to the blues. Do we have that? I mean, there's places around that we don't know about because it's not advertised.
But there's places that...
And they're devoted to the blues and that, but like bigger, like venues like that where you would see the Samantha Fish, you would see, Buddy Guy coming into town and things like that, and all the upcoming folks that are out there. The Token has taken up a whole lot of that slack, but there's still hardcore rock and roll.
There's not really dedicated places. But there's not and like there's definitely no Attic where it's not like the mid-level touring
the
people that it's the
gone,
local.
All that.
Like picture how much all of us would how much we would admire, say, if we had all the big dogs like all you guys playing in the same bar every night of the week, right? Like if that existed,
it was
to this
a special place,
right? Yeah,
absolutely,
it really was. So
I say we open up Tasha's joint.
I was gonna say.
And we there.
Because I've been thinking the same thing. I'm like, what do I call it? Motor City's home of the blues, right?
Right. Yeah.
Fuck it, I'll put it on the sign. Everybody else ain't got the balls to put it on the sign, but I will.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Tasha's blues joint.
But it all started at the Attic for me.
That's
awesome.
Yeah.
I met everybody there. I walked in, and I ended up going there every night until finally, Kathy Davis was playing there on Monday night.
All right,
with her ex-husband Ron, he's left us. He's no longer on this planet. They were hosting the Monday Night Jam, and I walked in, and I hit a couple licks, and he goes, "Are you in a band?" I said, "Nope." He goes, "You are now."
Okay. Who was in it back then?
Well, on that Monday Night Jam, it was Duke Dawson was playing drums, the old drummer guy. You know Duke?
Yeah.
Did you ever meet him?
Yeah.
No,
there was a guy named Palmer Ray that used to play the bass, and then it was Ron on guitar and Kathy sang, and then whoever. But he didn't hire me for that Monday. He said he hired me to play at Chrissy's every Thursday in Mount Clemens with the Curtis Sumter Project.
Yes, Curtis Sumter.
So Ron says, "You are now," and he called Curtis and said, "I got a guitar player we've been looking for," and it was Paul Big Daddy Baker at the time, Curtis Sumter, Ron, and myself and Kathy.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah.
And back then, Chrissy's, which is now Three Blind Mice.
Three Blind Mice.
Right.
Yeah.
It is now Three Blind Mice.
we used to play there, and it was they would be lined up out the door, paying $5 to get in, and there'd be all these older church ladies drinking beer and sipping it with a straw.
Oh, nice.
Every time you hit a get licked, they'd be like, "Woo, boy!" It was really a sweet gig, and it was we played there every Thursday, and it was just that was my first steady thing. And then Ron says, "Hey, I don't want to do the Attic on Mondays anymore." And Linda, the owner of the Attic, came to me and says, "You want to do Mondays?" I was like,
Yeah.
So I went to work on Mondays with the same rhythm section that was already
Absolutely.
Oh, nice.
there. With those guys, and I did that for a little, and then I worked with Curtis, for a few years, and then about 93, I started doing my own gigs on the side.
Yeah.
All right, and on that note, I want to say thank you for watching Hot Flash Happy Hour on WJZZ Cool TV, the coolest station in the world. And you can see us streaming live every Thursday from 7 to 8 p.m. on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter Live, and other top social media platforms. So we want you to like, follow, share, comment, and subscribe. And again, thank you for watching it. I am Tasha Owens, your host, Jimmy Alter, my co-host, and our wonderful guest, Mr. Josh Ford, who is a legend and just a what do you call it? A statue that should be up on Music Row in Detroit. So this is how far back we go in the music industry. So we want to keep you going. We're up to 1993 now, right?
93.
And you're starting to get into your own thing.
Yep.
So yeah.
Started doing
How
some
we got
things
there.
on the side, and finally in '94, I said, Curtis, I just got to do my own thing full time. He says, I know.
Right.
I know.
Yeah.
Go do it.
Yeah.
So then it was Matt Kelly was my drummer. Was my first drummer, my first band. Dale Jennings.
While we're there,
okay,
I want to ask you. We'll go forward before we go back. This story I hear about.
We'll get to that.
Okay.
I know where you're going.
Damn it! Now I want to know.
Okay.
So here, basically,
some stories from the road.
I'll move quickly. I know we only have so much time. So it was Matt Kelly, Dale Jennings, and Dave Mathis,
Okay.
who also used to play with Curtis. But he's like, Curtis, I gotta go play with him.
Nice.
I'm like, Curtis, I'm sorry. He goes, don't worry about it.
Right. Yeah.
So we started doing some gigs, and back then I was crazy.
Yeah.
I mean,
We're crazy.
look,
Yeah.
I know I'm still crazy.
Yes.
But I was way more crazy.
I work with
that. So back then, I drank a lot, and I did
That
a
kinda
lot of
crazy.
cocaine,
Yeah.
and I would get so fucked up. I'd go, oh, yeah, I gotta go to my gig. When's your gig? Friday. Oh, well, today's Sunday. I'll be like, oh shit,
right.
because I was out to lunch, man.
Yeah,
I was out there.
Yeah.
I was walking around not too far from where we're sitting right now.
Right.
Getting at people's grill.
You
Then
It's amazing.
while we're there anyway,
it's
because
amazing I'm still sitting here.
we don't have this platform often, so I want to call you out on this while we have this platform. Was there once a time that the Van band sort of disappeared for a couple days also? Was there
what?
Like with their equipment in it? Did that equipment?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there was a time that I mean, so like I'm just trying to give the people like the extent of your
I was
wild.
out there, dude. I was a crackhead.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I ain't mad.
Right.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
thank you, Jesus.
Yeah,
Thank you, my
you're sitting here admitting, and I love
Thank you,
it.
everything that
Oh my God.
you can turn it around, man.
Can we touch on that?
October 1st, 1998.
I was gonna say,
All right.
yeah.
Right?
Let's
so
do
I
it.
don't know how long is that.
A little-
22 years.
Yeah.
I don't do
Something
math
like that.
after
What
5 p.m.
No cocaine, no alcohol.
What caused it?
What caused it?
Yeah.
What,
I mean, was
what
there?
made me go that way?
Yeah.
Peer pressure.
I mean, what cleaned you?
or-
Yeah.
Or what cleaned me out?
Yeah.
I got tired of fucking up, and I knew
really?
that music was I had to do it.
That's awesome. There wasn't
Good.
some
It
big
was-
huge event or something that like.
It was too
This-
important.
yeah,
No,
this is
I
the
never
story,
went to
yeah.
jail.
Yeah.
But this is the story
Knock
you want
on
to
wood.
hear. It was the music that
Never
meant more to me
went
than
to
that.
jail.
Fuck
I
yeah.
just I have
Fuck yeah.
family who were definitely praying for me.
Yeah.
There's no question, and
Yeah.
I believe that.
Was your family
100%.
calling you out and stuff too, or I mean, did you have any pressure from your friends or anything? Was anybody like, "Hey, you're being a dipshit right now"?
Yeah, you're being a dumbass. Quit fucking up,
Right.
of
Right.
course.
Okay.
But I mean, I didn't really like. I wasn't really an asshole to other people.
Yeah.
I was just fucked up in my own way.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'd go off and I'd disappear and fucking fuck up or whatever. But other than not showing up for a couple gigs, and that's pretty fucked up.
Yeah.
Right,
I wasn't really ripping people off or doing anything
Right,
like
right,
that.
yeah.
I was just fucking my own self up.
What's
Well,
this story
yeah,
about?
that's awesome
what's
that you
this?
came
What's this
through it,
story
though.
about kicking someone out? And like, weren't you in the
Right.
middle of nowhere?
He's like right in the
Well,
dirt.
well,
I want to see what you
I
did
know.
when you were
Why you want
pissed
to
off.
highlight my finest hour, Jimmy?
Yeah. Well, this is all just part of this period of Motor City
Yeah.
Garage,
So
you
yeah.
know?
No, that was much later, actually. So I finally got my shit together in '98. Decided to move to Atlanta. I moved to Atlanta, built a really nice fan base down there. Started getting things rolling. Things were awesome. I loved Atlanta. I was there at the perfect time. You know, I moved there October. Well, I got sober October 1st, '98, and I moved to Atlanta October 1st, '99.
All right.
1 year to the date.
All right.
With my new wife Kenya that I met up in the UP when I stayed up there with my grandparents getting my shit together.
Yeah.
Her and I moved down to Georgia, lived there, you know, for a few years, started building everything up, and then I realized I was gonna want to tour, and the guys that I was working with couldn't tour. So I called my brother on the phone. I said, Caleb, you still hanging out with that hotshot little drummer, Damien? Yeah, okay, well, why don't you guys come down here so we can take over the world? He goes, I'll call you back in 5 minutes. He called me back. He goes, yeah, me and Damien will come down there tomorrow.
Sweet.
I was like, awesome.
Yeah.
So I got you a place to live. Just come on down. So they came down. You know, we started touring regionally and then stretched it out nationally and whatever. We went to England a couple times.
Yeah.
Nice.
You know, and we're very well received over there. And we just started doing really good. And then that band kind of run its course. And I, after about 4 years, and then I ended up getting divorced to my first wife because, you know, hey, I was young and I couldn't behave myself.
Smelling yourself.
I could not behave myself. I was having fun.
Right.
Yeah, I was hollering at anyone that would holler at me.
That's where big girls came from.
So I gave up the drugs and I found a new addiction and I went for that, right?
Yeah.
So I was doing that, and then my first wife was great, man. She was a beautiful person.
Yeah.
God bless her. Hope she's doing well. And then we basically just decided, hey, we need to, you know, this ain't gonna work out.
Right. Yeah.
So that
One of us gonna die.
That ended. One time when I was over in England, I met this other girl. Ended up coming back, hanging out with me. She moved to Chicago with me. You know, she was 10 years younger than me. She looked beautiful naked. That's about the end of that story.
Right.
After a little while, it was like,
I love you.
who did I marry? Who is this girl? So I divorced her.
Yeah.
I just said, hey, I can't do this no more. Here, keep the car I bought you.
Right.
Just get the fuck out of here.
Right,
You know,
yeah.
we're done.
I am like loving you through all this right now.
Yeah.
So that's 2 down.
Right.
Right,
So
2
then
down.
I was like, you know, I'm in Chicago. I'm not really playing much around there, but I'm living there and we're touring and stuff. And then finally I said, you know what, I'm coming back home. So I came back home. I ended up going to Chuck's house. And I was at Chuck's house, my best friend Chuck Lyon for my whole life.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, Chuck looks after me.
He just wants some
you
breakfast.
knew him you knew him well before.
Since '90. I've known Chuck since the beginning.
So like while you were away and all that, like I'm sure you guys kept in touch
Chuck
a little
came
bit.
to
But
Georgia a few times.
Yeah, right.
I love Chuck too.
I mean,
He's so
they've been your
amazing.
biggest supporters
When
for
I
that
was
long.
in Georgia,
I'm
I
sure,
still would come back and play the goose a couple times a year.
Right.
You know,
That's
back it out.
And then ended up getting you a future bass player, Alex, also then.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
the Chuck connection.
So wait, where was I?
Chuck came.
We kind of
Chicago.
yeah.
Hey, the Chuck. So this is like 2005.
Some like Wind
right?
Station coming in.
2005. Chuck. So I believe it was the December of that year.
Okay.
I was living at Chuck's house and touring. You know, coming in and out of town, and it might have been 2006. I think it was 2006.
We're getting closer to when we met.
So and that's when I knew Stacia from the early years. I used to play at Ted's Pub every Sunday in Clawson with my band, 93, 94, 95, and she used to come in there on Sundays, and that was. But anyway, I knew her from back then, and she came into the Goose one night, and I was like, hey. Or no, actually before that, check this out. It was in the summertime, right before that. I was playing at the I forgot we're on the fucking live stream.
And that's all right.
That's
this is
how
what
it's supposed to feel.
right?
Yes,
That's how it's supposed to feel.
Right. So I was scheduled to play at the Cow Pie Blues Festival.
Cow Pie.
I did it like 5 or 6 years in a row out there by Grand Rapids or somewhere out there. I don't know.
In farm
In
country.
the Cowfield in the middle of
In
nowhere.
farm country, it's Cow Pies.
It's Cow Pie Blues. So I get there and my drummer Justin. At the time, Justin Hadley, who lives down in Florida, he plays with who's he playing with now?
It's a Southern rock team, isn't it?
No, he plays with Damon Fowler.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Damon Fowler.
Anyway,
Justin goes, I see him as I'm pulling in. He's like all excited. He's like coming right up to the van. He's like, dude, this girl wants you, man. This girl. I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, dude, this girl wants you. I'm like, who? He's like, she's on stage. And I couldn't see the stage because I pulled backstage. So I get out of the van and I walk around and there's like 12 women on stage.
It was the Motor City Women? Is that what it's called? Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know her. God, I hope not.
Right.
Who is that? Who's that? I thought, no. And then I looked. I said, "Oh, it's Stacia. I know her."
Right.
So I talked to her. We caught up. We hadn't seen each other in years or whatever. And then that was that. And then I didn't see her again until around Christmas time. She came in the Goose, and I walked up and said, "Hey, how you doing?" We started talking. I said, "What are you doing tomorrow?" She said, "Nothing." I said, "I'm coming over."
Oh, nice.
She said, "All right, come on over."
It's your birthday, isn't it? Right then, too?
It
Right?
was,
It was like a
it was
birthday.
near Christmas.
Yeah,
It
right.
wasn't quite Christmas.
Look at you with all the backstory.
No, that's true.
Wait, well, we're getting into the point where, like, I mean, I met him
Right.
shortly after these years. I
Yeah.
mean, we've known each other a little
So
bit now.
Stacia is the current Mrs. Ford.
Yes,
That's
that's right. Yeah.
The forever Mrs. Ford.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Yeah, forever
She's
Mrs. Ford.
a
I mean-
wonderful singer-songwriter.
Oh, I
musician
love
in
her.
own
Hi,
right.
Stacia.
Children,
I know you're
children
watching,
change
so.
you, don't they? You know?
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So when Stacia and I got together, Lucas was part of the deal. Lucas was 2.
Yeah.
And I ended up adopting Lucas.
Oh, awesome.
And then just a couple years later, we decided to have Lola.
Yeah.
And Lola's 12 now, and Lucas is a senior in high school. He's about to graduate.
All right now.
And and we move on. So I opened up. Oh, here's another look. I opened up the studio in 2011.
All right.
at
The Sound Shop.
The Sound Shop recording studio. So I skipped a few years. I basically just toured in and out of town
Right,
until.
right.
And in 2011, I opened that, and I still came in and out of town, but not quite as often.
I was gonna say we got to go back a little bit because you stopped playing shows once you opened up the studio.
Well, no, I did it for a couple years first.
Yeah, both.
Right.
Both. Yeah.
I
And
did
then you
both
shut
for a
down
minute,
for a while.
and then I'd say around 14 or something like maybe 13 is when I said, you know what, I'm just gonna focus on the studio, and I'm not gonna do any Josh shows. I'm kind of burnt out, and plus I'd like
Everything around here at the time too was a little you know.
funky.
I heard a great story about you. Like speaking of, because this is during this time period, playing a bar in Algonac, and I think you played like a song or two, and like turned to Eric and Alex, being like, I ain't doing this.
So, yeah, so we
Because I played at that same bar and I understand that feeling. Cause
we
It's
played.
not the bar that lesbians try to pick me up at.
it is that same.
Oh.
So yeah, we
Jesus.
played there, and we played outside,
Yeah.
and it was great.
Yeah.
And then the very next time he says, "We want you to set up inside." Okay, no problem. So he came up and he's like, "Turn it down." And I said, and I knew that we started off at a super quiet volume because everyone was eating.
Yeah.
We started off playing an instrumental, and it was just like
Barely.
We were
yeah.
barely. We were
Yeah.
bullshitting. We were bullshitting because
Yeah.
it was like, fuck it, we'll play real quiet and bullshit.
Yeah.
And so we turned down so quiet that my amp wasn't even on. He came over and goes, "Turn it down." I said, "That's it. Don't worry, boys. I'll pay you. We're leaving."
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So I just said,
Yeah.
"You don't need a band. You need the radio."
And yeah.
And I just unplugged everything.
And the more
walked
that
out.
shit you deal with, though, I could definitely see what leads people to like wanting a break, because like if you're going and playing a gig and that's how your night ends, it sucks.
Yeah, I know. I
You
know Jim
like-
McCarty did the same thing out on the west side. We try not to name these places.
Right. Yeah.
Well, that place isn't open anymore, so Cooley Lake.
Oh, right.
Yeah, he did the same thing there. If
I
I turn it
remember
down,
that
and he took,
happening, yeah.
just unstrapped his guitar. I'm like,
Fuck
I'm
it.
leaving.
Yeah.
It ain't meant to be.
So, yeah.
Right.
So yeah, that happened.
Yeah. So what brought you back? Let's
Yes. So I had quit.
5-6 year break for the studio.
Probably 3 or 4 years.
Was it?
Actually, probably only a couple years till I started doing bass gigs.
That's right. Yeah.
So I did a record with Matt Stahl, and Matt calls me. He's like, "Hey man, I'm doing a record release party." I'm like, "Great, awesome." He's like, "Well, you play bass on everything. Why don't you come play bass?" And I never played a bass gig.
Right.
I played bass in the studio.
Yeah.
I played bass, when I was 12 years old on my 4-track, making songs and stuff. But I said, "Okay, I'll do it." So I learned the songs, and I went to the Kaju Cafe and did the CD release party with Matt Stahl.
Nice.
I had fun playing bass.
Yeah.
I was like, that was fun, and then.
Is that with the White Russians or Jackie Stahl?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we played a couple more times right after that. And then somebody told Thornetta I was playing bass. She called me and she goes, "Hey, I need a bass player tomorrow. Can you come play?" I'm like, "Tomorrow? I don't know any of your songs." She's like, so she sent me some stuff, and I brushed up really quick. And
You played with us once at downtown at Fishbones.
Yeah.
We did one down
That's the
there.
same
At
place I did
Fishbones.
Thornetta too.
Okay, right.
right around that same time.
Yeah.
So we did that, whatever. And I was doing some bass gigs and just doing the studio. And then one day, I'm finishing up. I had a session. I had worked all day, and it was about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, whatever. Todd Glass calls me and goes, meanwhile, Todd's been my house drummer since I opened the place.
Yeah.
He calls me and he's like, this is about 3 years ago, I guess. Yeah, maybe 3.5 now because we're getting toward the end of the year, right? So it's about 3 years ago, and he goes, I need a guitar player. I'm like, well, you better call J-Bone or something.
Yeah.
I'm like, call Johnny. I've called everybody. Nobody's available. I'm like, when's the gig? I'm like, all right, I guess I'll do it. I'm like, when's the gig? He goes, in 2 hours.
Nice.
Hey, can you bring a PA?
Oh yeah, and that.
Course.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, of course.
Are you kidding me, man? So I grabbed 2 PA speakers, a guitar, and an amp, and I went to this is a place on the water.
Brownies. Okay.
And it was Greasy and Todd.
Yeah.
So that was easy.
I was gonna say back then too, because you were doing the one on Harper sometimes too.
Yep, that was after that. So I did one.
Right.
Yeah.
And then about 3 weeks later, he said, Jody can't get across the border. We need you to come fill it in again. So I did it again. And then Greasy said, you want to do some gigs? I said, yeah. So I said, yeah, I wouldn't mind doing a few gigs. So Greasy started trying to find some gigs. Yeah. So we started playing at that little place over there.
Yeah.
Gilbert's. Yeah.
And on that note, I do have to say again, I have to break do my station identification. So we want to thank you guys wonderfully for watching Hot Flash Happy Hour, for tuning in every week, and for telling your friends and things about it. And we want to let you know again, if you can tell everybody, or as you're watching as well, that we stream live every Thursday from 7 to 8 p.m. on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter, and other top social media platforms. So we will want you to like, follow, share, comment, subscribe, and all that crap they tell you to do. And then again, and listen to us every week. So tell your friends about us. Hot Flash Happy Hour every Thursday from 7 to 8. I'm Tasha Owens, your host. My co-host Jimmy Alter, and we welcome our wonderful friend, the legendary Mr. Josh Ford.
Yeah, are there any waters in that fridge?
Yes,
there
would
is.
you like one for sure? Absolutely.
So you start playing again.
Yep.
And then now you're full bore. You're about to let's talk about your future here for a second. You're about to leave town a little bit. You're back on your old path, right?
Back on the old path.
Yeah. When you got 2 more gigs here? Is that correct?
This weekend.
This
right?
weekend, I'm on the Mount Clemens tour.
That's
yeah,
right.
That's right. I got the Rec Bowl, which I think I played there 25 years ago. I played the Rec Bowl. I played there too, but not this weekend.
I told him I mentioned they gave me this for free. So
Mount Clemens is happening right now, man.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, it's cool.
So, and then we can't wait for you to get back to this.
The Goose.
The Blue Goose will be open again. And this is what Josh did on Monday. So Blue Goose on Monday night with Josh.
I played there 30 years.
30 years. It's amazing.
Three Blind Mice is like...
So he coined the phrase that Monday is Friday Junior.
Yeah, that's right.
Actually, I think Loco Joe came up with it.
Oh, did he?
I just
Stole it.
went with it. I ran with it.
He's the one that got out of a DUI because he told the cop, why? What do you mean I'm drinking? Are there fat bitches in the backseat?
That's awesome.
He tells that story so good. I'm like, you're so wrong.
Joe's the best.
That's awesome.
I love Joe.
They call him El Fucko.
So Friday I'm playing at the
Rec Bowl.
The Rec Bowl.
Yeah.
7:30 to 10:30. And then Saturday is the last night of the Octopus's Beer Garden. They're closing for the season. That place is awesome. I can't wait till next summer.
Yeah.
The guy that owns it, his cooking is unbelievable. Yeah. They love music. Every restaurant he's ever had is named after a Beatles song.
Nice.
It's just like it's a cool vibe there. Yeah. It's like really it's on the river.
There's a difference when you play at places that really care about like music, right? Like
100%.
Yes.
A quick shout out to Max Dugan. Steve is that way. Yeah. Steve, like I know he doesn't have a ton of money to pay the acts right now, right? But he cares. Like you can see it in his bones. He genuinely cares about people. What can I do to make this place better for you?
I agree.
All that. I mean, I really think that could be one of those little spots we talked about if money starts going into it a little bit.
It's it's an interesting place. It is a dive.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know? I mean, they're giving it hell.
But hey, it's the blues,
and the poor guy guy's had nothing but troubles ever since he's like opened up. I mean, furnace, all these leaks, all this,
the 696
COVID.
green slime.
I mean, the green slime.
David had
shut
a green
him down.
slime shot because it was like right where the bar is.
Yes, absolutely.
That's when that happened.
People want to go to the dive.
You want to.
But I like Steve is one of those guys
First
too.
place.
He's like yeah.
Big ass dive, but it's so awesome.
Oh yeah. First place is great too. Yeah. A lot of those places are. And then where to after those 2 gigs? Because you're going all the way down to Florida.
Yeah. So, is that like? Are you taking like the 75 tour, or are you just? I know you're going to see Daryl Lee, and I promised to say something because I know he's watching.
Yeah, Daryl Lee. I'm going to be at my brother's house on Friday. I'm going to actually get down there on Thursday. We're just going to drive down on a Thursday, go to Daryl's house, hang out with Daryl.
Absolutely.
Who's going on bass? Because I know you.
Daryl and Sonora.
Yes.
right.
Yes. Don't mess up my guest room.
Yeah, John Barron couldn't go. He's a school teacher. He tried to get out, but his school district was like, "Oh, well, we're going to take away your health insurance if you're gone more than X amount of days." You know, so that wasn't going to work out for this time.
Yes.
So we got Rocco.
Yeah. All right, Rocco.
And Rocco's played a good handful of gigs with you in the last.
I've been kind of
Rocco's
mixing him
amazing.
in. Yeah. I've been mixing him in the last couple months, and he's picking up on it. He's done his study. Yeah. He wrote everything out on the lines of spaces.
Right.
First gig he had with me, I walked over there and I looked at his. Yeah. He's like, "Do you care if I?" I said, "Whatever it takes to get through the gig."
Absolutely.
I walk over there and I look, and it's all.
He's got all charted. It's impressive.
I love that.
It's not just a chart. Yeah. He wrote it on the lines and spaces. Right. I'm like, dude, is this the cello part to the symphony?
Right.
Or is this the bass parts to my
The first movement to the second part.
He wrote everything
after the aria.
Which is a talent in itself. So yeah, Rocco's going, and Todd's going, and Johnny's going, and I'm going.
Oh my God! What a motley crew! I love it.
Cool.
It's gonna be a couple weeks.
Badasses.
Is that right?
Well, it's gonna be 10 days.
10 days, because I saw you guys are coming. Like you're playing in DC, right?
There it is. Atlanta on Friday. Yeah. Saturday we're in Tallahassee.
Right.
Sunday we're in Mobile, Alabama. Monday we're off, but we're gonna stay the night at the Paradise Bar and Grill, Pensacola Beach, because we're playing there on Tuesday and Wednesday.
Right.
And then Thursday we're playing in Savannah at Bay Street Blues in Savannah, Georgia. And then Friday we're playing at a place called Rusty Nail in Wilmington.
Get out of here.
Wilmington, North Carolina. Wilmington, North Carolina. Nice. Saturday we're
playing
pictures. Adams, Oregon, Washington D.C. And then we were gonna drive home on Sunday, but Johnny just got a new job. He doesn't have to work on Mondays, so I decided to hit Allegheny, New York, one of my other spots on the way home after Washington D.C.
Excellent.
So we're working that on Sunday and driving home on Monday.
Excellent. How awesome is that?
Yeah.
New job. I mean, we'll go over Johnny's stuff after this, but I'm surprised. Yeah. Still for this.
No, but now Johnny's been playing with me off and on since about 2005 or 6.
Yeah.
So we've had like 15 years, off and on together, and he knows all these places. He's been all these places with me before.
Absolutely, yeah.
So
when we first started hanging out, like I was just like, oh, that's so cool what you do, and it was so inspiring because like. He was always gone with you. We were hanging out whenever he was home.
Yeah, well, that's because Josh makes it happen. So
and started, like we talked about the Blue Goose, started as a dishwasher at the Goose.
Yep.
Came out from washing dishes to sit in with bands at the Goose. Yeah.
That's exactly what happened. He came and sat in with me. He was like 16. I was like, oh, he's pretty good.
Yeah.
And then a couple years later, I was doing an acoustic gig up the street, and his mom was waitressing there at, I forget the name of the place, not far from the Goose. And she goes, she says, Johnny, bring your acoustic. Come sit in. Josh is going to be there. So he did. He brought his acoustic and just came in and said, hey, can I sit in with you? I'm like, sure.
Right, yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
So we just sat down and jammed on the acoustic. And then the very next night I played at the Goose, and he got up and jammed again. And after we were done jamming, I looked over at Gloria. I said, Gloria, you got to find a new dishwasher.
Right.
I'm taking him with me.
Right.
Johnny's like, huh?
What'd you say?
And then you want a job? He's like, yeah. He's going with me.
That's excellent.
Awesome.
So I know a lot of these places, these people that I know all over are looking forward to seeing Johnny and I together. We're like the Blues Brothers.
Right down there.
We've been doing this for a while together now.
Excellent.
And so
he's my favorite guitar player.
So learning from your beginning to everything else and who you've been playing with now, and then the success of your studio. Let's talk about that. And then again, this is where we come in the play too, as being friends and colleagues. So
well, you're part of that success because you bring an amazing voice to the table, and my clients are grateful for what you do, Tasha.
Thank you.
So
I am a session vocalist.
Yep.
So not just do I do live in my own stuff. Yeah.
Easy to work with. You already know what she does. She opens her mouth and it's game over.
Right.
But I love it. When you call me, we always have a good time, and it's always a really amazing time. So I want to just tell everybody else how much of a great producer you are.
Thank you.
Yeah, a great producer.
And if you saw Tasha on the 4th of July, the fireworks thing on Channel 4, that was Josh and his fellas as the backing track.
Yeah, that backing track for
John
you.
Merritt,
Yes.
Todd, and myself. Yeah.
So when I went to them, because they, the thing was
fun, too.
they wanted us to just do something that everybody knew, but use a karaoke version, but stop at 2 minutes. And I'm like, right at the 2-minute mark, you never know what's going on. It's not a complete thought. So I called Josh and I said, hey, they want me to do this song in 2 minutes. Can we break it down? And man, he just went to work. He called, Todd. He called Don Barron. And right away, they just said, hey, yeah, absolutely. I just, I want to be a part of that. So it was so special. And then I think now that I was the first person to do that for that event, they might include it in, when they offer other artists, because it worked out so well. So I'm like, hey, thanks for being a trendsetter with me.
My way, so we can figure it out.
Yeah.
While we're on the studio too, I want to play people a song recorded at the studio. Let's start with the Big Girl Reimagined, because this is also,
and Kim loves that song.
this is also something that that you're really good at, is sort of having your finger on the pulse kind of thing.
Right.
And how cool that you redo one of your own tunes, almost as like a neo soul twist on it, which is great because it's perfect for the time.
Absolutely.
Excellent. The recording's excellent.
Barry, how many times did Barry Gordy record I Heard It Through the Grapevine?
Oh, absolutely.
Not that Big Girl's I Heard It Through the Grapevine, but Big Girl is kind of like my little goofy hit. Everyone loves that song.
Yeah, correct.
People love that song.
And I love this new version. I want to play it for people so people can hear like what actually happens at the studio.
Yeah,
and we're running out of time. We gotta get some tunes in.
Let it rip.
Here's Big Girl Reimagined, y'all.
That was.
Maybe. Hopefully you guys are hearing it on the stream. Do we got Big Girl, Derek? Do we got Big Girl going on here?
I see some meters flickering over there.
All right.
But I don't know.
We just can't hear it in here. It's fine. It's probably through the feed.
It's a great song. It's about
If everything's going as planned right now, the mics are dead.
It's my sister's favorite song.
Good.
But I wanted to hear it right now. Damn it. I know they were having issues with it, like
we're good.
Buzzing.
I guess he'll come in here if it isn't playing, but it looks like it is.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, usually we could just hear it in here also.
We're good.
They're having issues with it. Yeah. Yeah, you could probably see if it's playing on your phone.
Let's see. What was I looking for? There it is. I can see if it's playing. Well, I think that's it right there, right?
Oh, is it behind? Yeah. But is that the beginning of the show?
All right, so
Oh, is it not playing?
yeah, so yeah, we want you guys to go there. And
all right,
check it out.
post it. Yeah, we'll post the link.
Absolutely.
It ain't playing.
I guess not. Yeah, it's okay.
Oh yeah.
We're
And
all
we're gonna
good.
post it on the page too, and on our page as well. And it is my sister's favorite song.
We've had such a I mean, how easy has this one show been, right? Like
It's been awesome.
Sometimes when we have people in here, it's sort of like pulling teeth a little bit, right?
Yeah,
Well,
but
I'm crazy.
yeah,
I'm easy.
yeah. So yeah, what a great show, because you're just forthcoming with every.
I mean, this
information.
literally flew by. You know what I mean?
I know.
Like it's incredible.
I know, isn't that crazy?
Well, we got 15 minutes, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
5,
yeah.
7-ish. Yeah, 7.
So yeah,
socials,
so let
can
me
we
do
get
that last.
Oh, station ID.
Station
I would
ID.
like to say one quick thing about the
All right,
studio,
one
if I
quick.
may.
You got 1 minute, and I'll do my station ID, and I'll give you a few more minutes.
I just want to say I'm very thankful and grateful to everyone that comes to the sound shop to record, because to me it is a higher calling when somebody puts their trust in me to help them bring their music to life. And I love doing it. And Todd Glass has been there from the very beginning. He's my right-hand man. And Kevin Wesley Williams and Phil Stewart and Ivan and Seth, everybody that works there is just good people. And we've got a special place. And we really enjoy working there. I mean, from the jazz stuff to everybody, the whole Detroit music scene has really embraced me. And
he's
thank
got a
you.
wall
I
full of
really,
people that
really
just help.
appreciate everyone. Thank you so much.
That's awesome.
Yes, thank you.
And you've been
That's
doing those
amazing.
shows to give back. I'll let you do your station
Right.
ID and then we'll.
Right.
We'll-
So
then we'll
again,
talk.
thank you guys for watching Hot Flash Happy Hour. We are live every Thursday from 7 to 8 on WJZZ Cool TV, which you can see us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter. So we want y'all to like and follow, share, comment, and subscribe, and tell folks about it. and again, we thank you for doing that. This is our last time. We got a few more minutes, and we're talking to our friend. I'm Tasha Owens, by the way. Sorry. And this is Jimmy Alter and our wonderful friend, Mr. Josh Ford, colleague, a great friend, and just a super duper legendary person all around in this music business. And it's been a stamp in this music business for over 40 years, I want to say. 30. I've almost 40, so not 40 years, but 40 years in the business. So I'm older than that, y'all. So again, even though I'm gonna start, I haven't put anything out there yet, but I do want to invite all y'all December 12th, Sunday, my birthday at Kaju Cafe. So you'll start seeing that stuff. So mark your calendars. December 12th, Sunday, my birthday party at Kaju Cafe.
On your birthday.
On my birthday. Yes. So, Josh, again.
My birthday's the 12th.
Yeah, 12/12/66. I got all these freaking like double numbers.
Mine's December 24th.
Oh, Christmas Eve.
You must be Sagittarius.
Sagittarius crabby ass.
Yep,
that's
like
me.
My brother.
I like it. I love it.
And you're going to be there when? The 12th?
The 12th, that Sunday. Okay. And it's funny because when I called to book it, he goes, well, Brett's got it till 6. I go, good. He can keep his ass there. That's my producer.
Right, yeah.
So, Brett Lucas, you're not leaving after your gig on December 12th. You're staying to celebrate my birthday.
Nice.
Will you give people your socials?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, so MotorCityJosh.com. That's where you can get the itinerary for the band and see where we're playing. You know, check out the Josh Mart, get some shirts, some hats, some wall clocks, some T-shirts, whatever you need, we got it. Whatever you don't need, we still got it. And then you can go to SoundShopStudio.com, and that's where you can check out the studio and listen to some artists and book studio time, and figure out if you're gonna come there and record or not.
It's a great place. I recommend it.
And I want to mention too for people listening, the merch is always a great idea, like to help support the people you like in music.
Amen.
Merch sales really, really, really help musicians to get by and get through. More so than going and buying one beer at their gig or whatever. More so.
But if we have music you want you to buy online, please. We want you to buy online. We are independent artists.
There you go.
Yes.
I think you can find all my stuff on all the streaming platforms as well, but it's nice if you go to the website, go to MotorCityJosh.com and buy the vinyl record.
There you go.
Buy that,
Right,
yes.
absolutely.
You have something in your hand.
Yeah, because you do have that press for the new one.
The new album's
right?
out there. That's the only one I've done.
Yeah.
I've got 13 records, and that's the only one I've got with the vinyl.
It's expensive to press, isn't it? I mean,
that's why they usually do limited copies because of that.
It was pricey, but
for sure.
I figured, what the hell?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it'd be quite a task to have all 13 of them have vinyl available for people for all of them.
I'm not rich.
Right, exactly.
Me too, neither.
Right, that's what I mean.
Right, we make music for a living. We're not rich, but we make.
And then I saw you do have some dates lined up even for when you guys come back off the road.
Yeah.
A couple already for that. You're like a gigging monster. I
try to stay busy.
Yeah.
You do.
I have 2 kids at the house, and I have other musicians that like to stay busy that are in my band.
Yeah. Yep. You got bills to pay. You got a boat.
If you can keep people busy, then that's a good way to keep a band together.
I was gonna say, and keep them loyal to you, like.
Yeah.
Not only, I mean, they do that because it's you also, but also you've always done that for them in return.
Yeah.
Because you've always had monster bands, and that's a good reason for it. Is that like
all the time
you are who you are, and you put on a great show, but you also keep them busy.
Yep.
I mean,
it's Jimmy.
Of course, yeah. Like, and it's great because it only helps you too, right? To have Todd playing drums behind you is way better than like Joe Schmo playing drums behind you, right? Like,
I did some gigs with him. It wasn't much fun.
I know. Yeah, I heard you kicked him out of the band. We never got to the.
You want me to tell you the story real quick?
Yeah, we ain't talking about that right now.
So here's the story. Basically, I had this bus, 40-foot Silver Eagle. I ran it up and down the highways for 2 years.
Yeah.
It was very expensive. It just about fucking killed me, trying to keep that thing. Every time something would break, $1,000, $2,000. It was like I was basically living out of this bus, and there was a certain guy, I'm going to keep it nameless for right now,
Joe Schmo,
who was an alcoholic,
and
it was like, I don't drink anymore, okay, cool, you can be in the band then, right? So he comes and plays, and now he's like, I'm only going to have a little bit.
You ain't drinking any less either.
I'm only going to have one every once in a while, right?
Yeah.
And then it was like, I said, listen, if you're going to, I said, you're a grown person. I ain't got to tell you what to do. But I'm going to say this. you're an asshole once you start drinking. So wait till the gig's over. Do your job first.
Right.
Okay. So he'd wait till the gig was over, right? But then he'd start drinking. Then I'd have to go, hey, man, it's 10 in the morning. Go to bed. Stop drinking.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
Okay? So he drove everybody on the bus crazy for about a month. He was like just special to be around.
Yeah.
And then finally, I have a long fuse. I have a very long fuse.
Yeah.
But when it's gone, I see red.
Right.
And I saw red. And I snatched him up. It wasn't my finest hour. We were about to walk into a gig in Memphis, and I was right out in front of the club, and I snatched him up and started pummeling him right outside in front of the club. Not my most happiest hour.
Yeah, but it was necessary.
And then all the boys in the band were on the side going, "Yeah, get her!" They were so happy, you know.
Yeah.
And then finally, I said, "Wait, what am I doing?"
Right,
I was like, "God damn it, I love you, boy. You're fucking us up. You're fucking everything up." I said, "But we can't get all your shit. You're off the bus."
Right. Yeah.
He had money. He'd been working with me, every day for a while. He wasn't gonna.
He could get himself home.
He could get himself, but he was not getting back on that bus.
Isn't that fucked up though too? Like because like what motivation for you to keep going? Because at this point you're probably only a couple years clean when this had happened, right?
No, this happened. I've been clean for at least about 5-6 years, maybe a little more.
All right.
Maybe a little more.
Yeah.
Maybe a little more. This was around 2004.
Okay.
5.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So it was I've been sober for 5, 6,
7 years. Yeah.
Whatever.
Absolutely.
Anyway.
No math after 5. I think I said that already.
It went down. I had to leave him there, and we all went inside the club, set up our shit, and I took a mic stand and I rolled the bass up on the mic stand. I just tapped my foot on it.
Okay. Yeah.
So it was like I had a kick drum. And then we just
play the gig like that.
All right now.
The gig.
Did you have anyone sub for the rest of that run? Or?
Yes, I called. I made some phone calls, and
got someone.
Kathy Davis's brother Benny drove to the Slippery Noodle in Indianapolis, and we did that gig, and then we did one more in Angola, Indiana, and then we came home. So,
you were almost you were on your way.
Home. So we just had the 2 gigs. He came and subbed for the last 2 gigs.
Thanks for telling the story. That's good. I'd heard snippets, but I just
I got lots of stories, man.
Oh my!
We got lots of stories.
Well, after in January, you want to come back when you get back?
Yeah, we need a Josh part 2.
Yeah, we need
how the road is.
Anytime.
Yeah. So for sure.
We'll pick a Thursday. You don't have a gig because he's such a busy dude. We don't want to cost you money to bring you back in here.
Anytime. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. So you guys, what a wonderful story. What a wonderful night. What a wonderful show. I want to thank you, Josh Ford, for joining us on Hot Flash Happy Hour. And Jimmy, thank you also for being a wonderful co-host and kind of just leading this because you guys have such a rapport for so long. Sorry, it's dry. So thank you for that, and thank you for being you.
No,
and
thank you and you
of course.
for being awesome people in this music world, in this music business, in our little small piece of the Detroit area that we have.
Yeah.
You guys are awesome, and I love you both.
Why do you think, like, as soon as I met Johnny, right? Like, as soon as I met Johnny, I was just like, this is it, right? Like, you talked about, like, say, like, your first wife that, like, you just, like, you kind of had to be done, because of all that.
Yeah.
For me, it was literally just a music scene. I was like, I've got to be out in this like 6 nights a week. As soon as he introduced me to it, I was like, shit, I gotta meet all.
Sorry, honey.
Yeah, I really.
Coming on with
right.
Cerebral
Like I gotta know all these people. I have to know them well. And in hindsight, like you said, I wish her well and I hope she's doing well. But I'm happy I did.
You weren't ready to settle down. Now maybe you are.
Oh, I hope so.
Oh, he's so there. He is so there.
That little girl. Are you kidding me? You know what it's like.
This is like the happiest post from a man who's married with a child. Every day he just gives so much love to his family. So he's there.
You're
there, buddy. I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
Good for you.
I'm proud of you.
I ain't mad about anything anymore.
And on that note,
I know. Let's get out of here.
We want to say thank you. Tune in next week from 7 to 8 on WJZZ Cool TV for a Hot Flash Happy Hour. Good night. Have a safe weekend and a safe Halloween, you guys.
Perfect.
Thanks.